The most important questions being asked today are actually pretty simple. What's happening and how do we make it better? That applies to everything from global biodiversity, fisheries, climate, human-wildlife interactions, and threats to communities and economies. For decades, the answer has been, we don't know. Let's do another study. And then we spend months or years collecting and analyzing data, writing reports that very few people read, and making decisions based on snapshots from long in the past. And these problems are amplified when we try to work together across projects and organizations. Who has what data? How is it collected? Is it any good? Can we actually generate robust results? The costs and consequences of these old workflows and silos are massive. They're not only draining our time, effort, and budgets, we're also continuously delivering outdated results that slow everything from permits to investments, funding, and policies, which has led to bad decisions that deplete nature, community benefits, and economies. I'm Dr. Chris Ward-Paige, the founder of eOceans. For 20 years, I worked as a researcher. I kept thinking there has to be a better way. I needed technology that could massively increase my capacity, efficiency, and effectiveness. So I built it. It took 8 years of time, resources, and investment to develop and prove the technology. But now it's ready, not just for me and the organizations I serve, but for anyone who wants to use it anywhere. Meet eOceans, the system that turns your old and new data into continuously updated results. And when you need to, it connects work across projects, organizations, and borders, so we can all finally keep pace with the world we're trying to understand and manage. With eOceans, your new workflow could look something like this. First, create your project. It takes a few minutes to fill out this form, which I'll show you later in this video. You're defining the purpose, objectives, data types and sources, who's involved, and whether it's private or public. The default is public for truly open science. This tells eOceans what your project needs. In step 2, you add your trusted observations. Your trained field team, citizen scientists, existing data sets, or connected sensors can all feed into the same project. For field teams, collecting clean, standardized data is as simple as making a social media post using the eOceans mobile app. In step 3, watch your results come to life. eOceans keeps your data, validations, maps, graphs, analysis, and reports connected and up to date, while maintaining the professional standards and rigor of your work. In step 4, share what you know. Update your stakeholders and rights holders whenever you need with live, continuously updated results that can function like a scientific paper or analytical report that never goes out of date. And when you're responsible for more than one project, you don't need to have your team rebuild the same workflow every time. With eOceans, each project can stay completely independent, or they can be connected, so you can understand what's happening within each project, across projects, or across an entire portfolio. And we've already seen significant efficiency gains. In our case studies, deployment has gone from months to minutes. Multiple disconnected tools have been replaced with one connected workflow, and reporting has shifted from a major effort to results that continuously update as the data comes in. eOceans was designed and built by PhD scientists. The scientific standards and structured methods you need are built right into the system, while you retain control over your data, access, privacy, and how it's shared. For sensitive locations, eOceans automatically obscures exact coordinates to help protect vulnerable species, places, and communities. And we're Canadian, with a commitment to responsible data stewardship. Let's look at what this can look like in practice. In the app, you can explore a case study from Ocean Science Analytics. First, they defined what they wanted to understand: the health, biodiversity, social values, and threats within a coastal protected area. Then they added and continue to add data from existing datasets, cameras, dive surveys, and sensors. From there, the team continuously understands what's happening, where biodiversity is changing, which threats are emerging, how people are using the area, and whether management actions are working. And because everything stays connected and up to date, they don't have to rebuild the analysis or start a new report from scratch every time they want a new answer. They get their results on demand and put their time back into the work itself. And that's where we start to see the real value of a continuous workflow. Before we set up your project, I do want to clarify what eOceans is really designed for. It's built for understanding complex, changing systems, not just collecting data. That can be biodiversity and conservation assets, species and populations, pollution and other threats, human activity and social values, human-wildlife interactions, fisheries, protected areas, development impacts, or whether management and investments are actually working. The common thread is that we're looking at patterns across an area and over time. Things like presence, absence, relative abundance, frequency of occurrence, health, behavior, effort, threats, and change. What we're not built for is continuously tracking an individual. So things like telemetry, focal follows, patient records, or emergency dispatches aren't really the ideal use case. If you're trying to understand what's happening across a place, population, project, or system, that's where eOceans can help. All right, let's build your first project. I'll show you how to think about each section of the setup and what it means for your work. This becomes the foundation for your data management, filters, workflows, and analysis. Once it's set up, you have a structure for your data to flow into, and eOceans can start turning your observations into continuously updated results and reports. Let's dive in. Okay, once you've created and validated your eOceans account, you can log in through the mobile app or through the dashboard. The mobile app is designed for your field teams to collect data offline in the field and then to upload it and sync it straight into your project. It's also where you can monitor, validate, and quality control the data that's coming into your project and connect with your team, and much more. I'll give an overview of this later in this video. In the dashboard, this is where you create and manage your projects and your teams. You can kind of think of it similar to a Facebook group, where you're designing the purpose and scope and who's in the project as an admin or as a contributor, and providing the data and managing the data that's coming in, seeing results, downloading the data, downloading reports, and sharing publications. This is part of your dashboard right here. And so what I will do now is to show you a live and updating project. So this is a public-facing project that has been created by Ocean Science Analytics. Here's Ocean Science Analytics. This is their logo. This is what your project will look like once it's live and updating inside of the eOceans app. So you'll have your logo, your project name, your project summary, the people who are in charge of the project summary, all these different tabs that you can learn and share about your project. For example, the metrics of success, so how many people are following and are engaged in your project. The surveys, so these are the data that are feeding into the project and which ones have and haven't been validated. If you do any QA/QC, quality controls, and you remove data, it would be shown here. And you can review your results. So the data coming in automatically gets mapped and graphed and displayed in reports, and you can view maps, tables, even in raster format, so you can identify hot spots or cold spots of sampling effort. Let's move that back over to plots. So you can look at sampling effort in heat map form or raster form, and you can look at all these different trends through space and through time of diversity, effort, and abundance of whatever your targets are, whether it's a species, a pollution, social values, and the environment, and the interactions between them. So this way, you can see here that I just generated these maps, these graphs, these tables and reports without opening a spreadsheet, without using GIS, and without using R or other statistical programs. Okay, so that's what your project looks like once it's live and updating and it has data. But next we want to do is to show you how to actually create your project, which builds the shell that you can then feed data into. So here you will select Launch Project. I'm going to select Demo Launch so that it has pre-filled information. And there's two ways to look at this. This is a form that you're filling out that's going to tell eOceans what data you want, how you want it managed, the data pipelines, and the analysis. So eOceans will set that all up based on what you enter in this form. And you can either go step by step or view all at once, which is my preference. And filling out this form, there's really just eight steps, all in different parts. It takes just a few minutes to fill this out. So I'm going to go through now each of the different steps so that you can be thinking about them as you enter your project. So the first one is the project name. If you're a super small organization, like an ecotourism site or something like that, or a small NGO, you may just have the name of your company. Otherwise, you may want to have specific name for the project because you may have many projects under your organization. So that's your name, then your logo and your banner image. Here you'll want to add your organization. If it's not already showing with your name, you can create one by opening up this new tab, adding a logo and a name and a description. Then you might have to use refresh in order to see it there, but now your name will be associated with that organization. A department, that's optional, and a project description. Step 2 is the research scope. So this is the first part of real eOceans power. This is telling eOceans what you're interested in. And there's two main categories. One is the human dimension. This can be human activities, such as longline fishing, surfing, sailing, different activities like that. Or it can be traces left behind by humans, such as plastic pollution, balloons, straws, and so on. So that's the human dimension. Then the second part is the species. So if you want specific species, you can choose those, or you can choose a species group, or you can choose all. If your project is not interested in species at all, you're only interested in the human dimension, then you can say none. Same goes for the human side. You can choose all or none. If you do choose a species and you want to even be more refined in the data that you're collecting, then you can add target markings, diseases, behaviors, and other conditions. So for example, if you're only interested in sharks that have diseases or are injured or have parasites, you can add that there. Step 3 is about your sampling methods. This is similar to above. You can choose all, or you can choose a specific sampling method. If you choose a specific sampling method, we suggest that you be very explicit in this part of the description and link a video and an image. This is important if you are onboarding new observers to follow the same sampling methodology through space and through time. Many organizations have high turnover rates, and so if you have new people sampling either in the same location or different locations and need to be following the same protocols, you should have that outlined here. Step 4 is about the goals and objectives. This is 2 text boxes where you can describe those. Step 5 is the location boundary. So this is another important piece for eOceans. It tells eOceans what part of the world that you are interested in, and all the coordinates within that boundary that you're going to put you are interested in. So you can choose location and state and add an image, but this is the part that's really important. So if you are interested in a global study of something in the ocean, you can choose our global ocean boundaries. The second one is to select from a list of. Third is to draw on a map. So if you are interested in an area here, you draw it and then you say finish, and then it tells eOceans that you're interested in only these coordinates. So then when you're uploading data or using the mobile application, it will look at the location of that data and it will say yes or no, it belongs in this project, and then adds it to it and generates the analysis accordingly. Or you can upload. So here I'm going to upload my boundary file, which is here. And so it's telling eOceans I'm only interested in this area for this project. If you are interested, you can also add a site list. This is really valuable if you have people going underwater or logging data on specific sites rather than using the latitude and longitude of the phone, for example, or whatever was collected in the field. So this will put all that data on the sites and give a site list in the mobile app. Step 6 is management context. This was designed for protected areas so that when you're tracking a protected area, you can put in which activities are prohibited or permitted to make it really clear and quick to communicate that to your observers or your guardians or rangers. In step 7, this is project insights. It's a discussion. It's a free text box. If the project is just starting, you may not have a discussion yet. But if your project is existing and you've already been interpreting results, you can add that here. And step 8, the final step, is transparency and outreach. Here you can add different links to different social sites or websites, and then below is the ethics and funding statements. Again, with research, if it's a research-based project, you want to share who the funders were, you want to share who you're acknowledging, and how the data can and will be used. And then you'll save the project. Once you've saved the project, you will head over to here, projects, or to your dashboard, and you will see the project here. There, you can select any one of these projects to be able to start to edit or change it. If you have existing data in CSV format, for example, that you want to add to it, you can use Magic Uploads. You can open reports, you can manage your users. So this is where you invite people to join your project, either as admins or data contributors. You can add comments and co-interpret the results with your team, review the surveys and review the results, and generate publications. Okay, so once you've created your project, you've invited your team either as admins or contributors. Now you need to start adding the data. As I showed, you can go to Magic Uploads, or you can head over to the mobile application. The mobile application is designed to be really easy to use. So you can be following people, and I suggest you do this, to look at the people who are publishing live public-facing projects to see how they're using it. Everyone's using it slightly different within each project. So you can see that this one, there's photos with a summary. If you want to validate or something's off, you can do that there. There's the field note, the location, the date, time, the site name, the sampling method, the species that were observed with the counts of each, and the projects that it went to. So as I mentioned, eOceans is really smart. It looks at the location of the sample and all the projects that this person has joined and the sampling methodology, and then it shares the appropriate data to each of those projects. So you can even look at some of the summaries there, and similar to what I showed you in the dashboard, you can see the sites, the surveys that are feeding that data, and some summary results and discussion if you're part of that project. Some people put this heart, and this heart suggests that they have added more conditions. So the interaction type, the status, the sex, the age, the length, the behavior markings, and so on. So that's how you can follow people and learn, as well as the projects themselves. And then to create data, you select the plus button, and you can add your photo there, your site list. Your site list is either specific to you, so you create your own site list, or to the projects that you've joined. Then there's the date, time, the species. So if you want to add a different species, some species have a field guide, so you know you're talking about the same species. Then you add your number, and you can add the conditions here under this pink heart. Human conditions, all of them there. These are your recents, or there's a list. And the environment has both surface conditions and water conditions. And then there's your sampling methodologies. If you have a specific sampling methodology, it would be shown in this list. You can add survey duration, field notes, and whether or not you need help with the ID. So if you got a photo, you can add and ask for help with the ID. Showcase means that other people who are following you can get a notification and interact with the observation, and making it shareable outside the system. So that's collecting data. And the last part I will share with you is your profile. So this is where you will see all your own data. And in this top corner is your goals and objectives for survey efforts. So you go up 10 trophic levels from a starfish up to an orca, so that you can, as you collect better data and it contributes to more projects and it gets validated and you're contributing to the overall community, you go up those 10 trophic levels from a starfish to an orca. You can track and have surveying effort goals and your contributions through time to all the different projects. And this isn't just meant to be a little bit of gamification. This is actually a really valuable tool, so that if a new project starts, and say I'm interested in starting a new project, only on a specific species that people have a certain level of expertise, then I can invite those people into my project. So if somebody asks to come into my project and I can look at their profile and I can say, yes, they're an expert observer or they're a beginner observer, that may make a difference of whether or not I allow them into my project. Okay, that's it for the mobile application. Congratulations, your project is now set up and ready for your data. As you can see, getting started is free, and your project can stay free forever. Upgrade anytime as your work grows for more data capacity, analysis, privacy, and capabilities. Thanks for joining eOceans. I'm excited to see what you discover.